Well, we really been a bad timeline, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in. Be part of the discussion. Yes, you. Be part of the discussion, right? This year has been nothing short of Michael Bay action. It seems like a Michael Bay movie. We still got the Uncle Donnie, Trump, and Epstein situation. But now, apparently, they're talking about nuclear war threat. Ah, man. Hopefully, we're not gonna be drafted like this, gentlemen. You do not have to like the video. You do not have to subscribe. Let me show you a bunch of stuff here, guys. Roll it.
President Trump says he's ordered the deployment of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines to the appropriate regions in response to threats from the former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev. Both men have been
Dmitry, yo, that's Dmitry, my friend.
Taunting each other of late after the White House this week said Russia had 10 days to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine or face tough sanctions. In response, Mr. Medvedev reminded him that Russia possessed nuclear strike capabilities.
There we go. There we go.
It's not clear exactly where Mr. Trump has ordered the submarines to be deployed. We'll have reaction from Moscow in a moment with Steve Rosenberg. But first, Gary O'Donoghue has our top story from Washington.
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Uncle
In recent
Johnny.
days, Donald Trump's rhetoric on Russia has turned up a notch.
Russia? I think it's disgusting.
What? Yo, no. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's Triple H. What? That's Triple H. That's Triple H from WWE. What is he doing out there? What is bro doing?
What they're doing.
But rhetoric has now turned up a notch.
Russia? I think it's disgusting what they're doing.
But rhetoric has now turned to action with the deployment of 2
He laughing. He laughing.
nuclear submarines, not specifying whether they were the kind that could carry nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
He was responding to the words of the former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, who accused the US president of playing the ultimatum game over threats to impose fresh sanctions on Russia next week if a ceasefire in Ukraine wasn't agreed. The former president said, "Each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country."
Damn.
In a post on Truth Social.
And right now, like, people are quite mixed on the situation. A lot of people are saying, another distraction, you know, World War III for the billionth time, which is true though, right? Like, this year, bruh, like, it started off with, Israel, always Israel-Gaza situation, right? Israel-Iran situation. Ukraine, Russia is still ongoing. It started off with Pakistan and India, right? Then we've had the Epstein situation, right? Uncle Donnie, Epstein files, this, that, the other, which, I mean, Trump do not want to release for whatever reason, right? I mean, damn, it's just... And now we got Russia and US, right? And get this, fellas, both of these countries, right? US and Russia got some of the most... I mean, these countries are literally the top in terms of nukes, right, of holding the nuclear arsenal. Russia is either the first or the second one, right? But dog, they got thousands of nuclear weapons, right? Thousands of nuclear weapons. So yeah, guys, hopefully we're not gonna be drafted like this gentleman out here, but all right, man, let's go.
Donald Trump said he was deploying the subs just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. The two men have met before in 2017 at a summit in Asia. President Medvedev called Donald Trump open and well-meaning.
Thankfully, it seems like that Putin don't have the Epstein files, because had it been like Epstein had, or Putin had Epstein files, Uncle Johnny would have nuked his ass, bro. Trump would have already nuked him, man, because you don't want the files coming out. We demand answers. We demand answers. The public demand answers.
While former President Medvedev retains a role in Russia's National Security Council, he is not seen as the voice of Vladimir Putin, but nonetheless is provocative in his statements. Today, the current Russian president, pictured here with his Belarusian counterpart, was more measured, declaring that disappointments only came from excessive expectations.
Man.
The US has more than a dozen submarines that can carry nuclear warheads. They form part of the so-called triad of air, land and sea deterrence, the most undetectable part of America's strategic nuclear force.
Man, y'all boys want to do all that, but you cannot release the Epstein files. You cannot give everybody that's watching this video $1 billion tax-free first thing in the morning by tomorrow. Bruh. You cannot release the alien files. You cannot release the UFO files. You cannot, like, you feel what I'm saying, right? Like, damn, man, but you guys can do all that. But you can do all that. Make it make sense, bro. Come on, man. For the love of God.
Donald Trump's latest deadline on Russia runs out at the end of next week. He's already said he doesn't expect fresh sanctions to change Vladimir Putin's behavior.
Right. Oh, no.
Well, in a moment, we'll hear from Steve in Moscow. But first, back to you, Gary, in Washington. This all seems, frankly, extraordinary. The deployment of nuclear submarines.
Dang. Yeah, nuclear submarine, guys.
It is extraordinary, Clive. I mean, it's not clear whether these are nuclear-armed submarines or nuclear-powered submarines. It's worth saying that. And we don't know where they're being put. And yesterday, the Secretary of State, also the National Security Advisor, really downplayed these kinds of comments from President Medvedev, saying he wasn't a relevant player, he wasn't a decision maker in Russia. And today here we have the President sending off a couple of submarines in the direction because...
Wait, Dmitry is a new president, or am I mixing him up? Because I thought it was Putin, no? Or perhaps, okay, maybe I'm getting mixed up or something like that. Oh, real quick though, before I forget, I gotta shout out the homie I am who I am for the $2 super thanks. Shout out to the homie Matt. Shout out to the homie Steven for the $10 super thanks. Thank you guys so much for the love and supporting the channel. It really means a lot. Man says that grow your beard back, brother. Okay, let's get back to the content here. Yeah.
Of these comments from the former President Medvedev. So it's unclear exactly how serious this is. We're always told that we should take his actions, not his words, seriously, and these are actions. Right. And in the past few minutes, the President has said that a threat was made, it wasn't appropriate, and that he had to protect our people, as he put it. Well, this is a significant escalation, but we'll see really whether it amounts to more than words. And there will be this crunch point at the end of next week when this deadline runs out in terms of Ukraine. Right. And extra sanctions could be put on Russia and its trading partners like India and China.
Yeah, that deadline now taking on added significance. To you, Steve, in Moscow, Mr. Medvedev, former Russian president and prime minister, now deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, he's been an outspoken critic of the West since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, hasn't he?
For real?
Yes, he certainly has. Interestingly, there's been no reaction so far from the Kremlin, from the foreign ministry, from the defense ministry, anyone here really. I think everyone's trying to work out what on earth is going on and what, if anything, has changed in relation.
It really feels like a bad CGI'd Michael Bay movie right now, bro. What is going on, man? We need the Transformers right now, bro. Where is Homelander? Okay, not Homelander. No, we don't need Homelander. Yeah, guys, I'm on season 4 finally. So yeah, last time when I said we need Homelander, and you guys were like, oh shit, he has not seen like season 3, season 2. Yup. Now I have. So yep, looks like that we don't need Homelander. Who do we need? We need the Butcher, right? But the Butcher, I mean, damn, right? Like what are we gonna do, guys? What are we need Tom Cruise, okay, but I don't know, man. Tom Cruise kind of disappeared after Mission Impossible, bro. Like, damn, man.
To where these US nuclear subs are being positioned. There has been reaction from the Moscow stock market, which has fallen sharply. Judging by the reaction in the local media here, Russians are surprised, to say the least, by President Trump's post. And I suspect that no one is more surprised than Dmitry Medvedev himself, because for more than 3 years he has been tweeting and posting some very bombastic and provocative social media posts, most of which have gone unnoticed, I have to say.
Right.
But now,
but looks like that this time he got noticed. He got noticed this time. Yeah, that's what I be saying, guys. Hopefully we're not gonna get drafted. Looks like Battlefield 6, right? By the way, Battlefield 6 gameplay ended up getting revealed. If any of you do care about it, that game looking amazing. But looks like that we're gonna have that in real life now. Okay, I wanna talk about this one in just a second, but
suddenly he has been noticed and he's got under the skin of the President of the United States in a big way. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, We think, Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, to arrive in Russia, possibly to meet Vladimir Putin. And tonight, one prominent Russian news site described, he likened Mr. Witkoff to a rabbit being pulled out of a magician's hat, the magician being Donald Trump. But I think it's a big ask for Mr. Witkoff to magically ease all the tensions that we're seeing.
You think happening all because of Epstein files or what? Breaking, Trump said the United States is totally prepared for a nuclear war against Russia. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless the entire world, bro. Like, let's be real. Breaking, Vice President JD, the homie JD Vance declares he's obsessed with UFOs and has pledged to lead and focus investigations on them. I think that's a W. We definitely need the UFO files, and we also need the Epstein files. We need the alien files. We need the 911 files. We demand answers. The taxpayer demand answers. We demand answers. We demand answers. Check this out, roll it.
Day off, which means a new war started. So what happened? Really funny you bring that up, because just a couple of hours before I went live, Donald Trump is moving nuclear submarines around Russia based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. I have ordered, this is from Donald Trump, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So I take 1 day off and this happens.
Man,
Donald Trump has declared that the United States is fully prepared to engage in a nuclear war with Russia, emphasizing the nation's readiness.
Yeah, let's be real. It's not gonna happen, but if it were to happen, whether it was the US that drops the first nuke on Russia, or it was Russia that drops the first nuke on America, it's over. It is game over. Russia and US, both of these countries are basically neck to neck in terms of nukes, right? Now Russia have also tested the Tsar Bomba, which was supposed to be 100 times bigger than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if I'm not mistaken. And then one of the scientists was like, yo, this is way too much, man. That's way too much. We gotta cut it down. And then they ended up cutting down the power of the Tsar Bomba to 50 times of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, little boy and big boy, or whatever the code name was for those nukes that America dropped on Japan back in the World War II, the 47s, right? Yeah, so they tested that, and the shockwaves went around the entire globe 3 times when they tested the Tsar Bomba, which was, again, 50 times bigger than that, and that was decades ago when they tested, and they were capable enough to make it as powerful as 100 times the size of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb, right? And that was decades ago. God knows what they got. God knows what America got, or God knows, I'm talking about the deep state, right? Like Lockheed, Skunk Works, Deep State, this, that, the other. Area 51 also, you gotta think about Area 51 and other military bases in America, and likewise goes for Russia as well. 2 of the biggest and strongest military powers, superpowers on Earth that can destroy the entire Earth dozen times or hundreds of times over. And yeah yeah guys, shit.
What? Oh shit!
Talking about.
But they always make threats, though. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Let's, I guess, go in with that sentiment, because at the end of the day, it's not up to you and I, right? Like, it's not up to us, bro. If they want to drop nukes, bro, they're gonna drop it. If they want to talk trash, which they are right now, they're talking shit. So if they were to drop it, it's like, yeah, bro, like, it's whatever, right? We really cannot do anything other than, yeah. So I guess, let's roll it.
Nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared.
Where are being deployed nuclear submarines.
Oh yeah, well, we had to do that. A threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate, so I have to be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, I don't think we want a war with Russia. I don't think anybody wants a war with Russia. But it seems pretty obvious that he's trying to escalate tensions to push Russia into negotiating with ending the war in Ukraine. And also, he's probably just talking shit on the internet too. Bro wants to make Battlefield 6 in VR? I guess so.
There we go. Yeah, Battlefield 6.
We're getting Battlefield 6 early today, guys.
Yeah, that is crazy. Now let's actually get down to the Epstein situation, guys. Yay, roll it.
The Epstein stuff is so crazy because when Kash Patel was on here and he was like, there's nothing. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
The guy's saying there's no tapes, there's no video. That doesn't make any sense. Everyone knows it doesn't make any sense. He's like, well, we have a film. We're going to release that film. And the film has a minute missing from it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think...
Then we heard 3 minutes were missing, some shit like that, so yeah.
We're babies? Like, what is this?
Also, you got people, including Dan Bongino, right, making bank for a couple of years talking about how awful it is. And we got to get this shit. And this is huge conspiracy. And then you release a two-page memo that says, yeah, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, because you're walking by your bedroom window and you see a little laser, red laser moving across your chest.
All right, so the Epstein saga continues and just keeps getting more insane. I mean, it's really hard to trust anything the government has to say at this point. You know, they've lied about almost every aspect of this Epstein case. And while they're lying to our faces, they also tell us that they've been completely transparent about everything. So the gaslighting is just off the charts. I mean, also now it's been reported that the FBI and DOJ do have access to the full unedited footage of that jail cell, including the missing minute that Pam Bondi said was missing because the tape resets every night. So it's always missing and they don't have it, but it turns out they do. So once again, there's another example of Pam Bondi lying to us, which is just expected. I mean, I'd be shocked if she told us the truth about anything, but I think she's just taking orders from Trump and he's probably trying to use her as a scapegoat. But I do have a little more faith in Dan Bongino because he seems to be struggling to keep it together and is starting to crack under the pressure because this has got to be taking a toll on him. It seemed like every interview he did before that DOJ memo, it looked like he had seen some seriously sinister shit and he's still trying to grapple with it. Then just the other day on Twitter, he made this cryptic post where he confirmed that. He said, I'm committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us, but what I've learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. So for the deputy director of the FBI...
tell us what you learned then, bro. Tell us what you have learned.
Say this is wild, especially after him, the DOJ already concluded there's nothing in the files. They just keep going back and forth. You know, first they claim there's a ton of evidence. It's horrific.
Yeah, tons of evidence to... There's nothing, guys. There's nothing. Oh, we don't even have the Epstein files. Hoax, not real. Then the homie Trump is like, yo, Bill Clinton, he went to the island 28 times, bro. Oh my God. He said that. We covered that in the last video, right? So Trump admitted that Bill Clinton went to the Epstein Island 28 times. Shit, bro, that is crazy, right? So why is justice not being served? All right, and right now, of course, a lot of people are believing Trump is in the files. This is why he's not releasing. Some believe no, he's not in the files. Okay, whatever you believe, that's your belief, right? But the fact that Trump said, he mentioned it, right, that yeah, Bill Clinton, he went to the island, the Epstein Island 28 times. Why is nothing being done? As in, why is he not brought up in court? Why is he not behind bars? Why is he not being interrogated, interviewed, or you feel what I'm saying? Like, why is he not brought forward? Where is the justice system at, right? Yeah, so once again, rules for everybody except for the elite. That's simple as that.
Horrific. Then they said there's nothing at all, and now he admits he saw some stuff that shocked him down to his core. But he also went on to say,
DOJ says no evidence. Okay, that was
nothing at all, and now
that was July 7th. Okay, recently, or almost a month ago. DOJ says no evidence. Jeffrey Epstein had a client list or blackmailed associates. Yeah, right.
He admits he saw some stuff that shocked him down to his core. But he also went on to say, we are going to get answers we all deserve. As with any investigation, I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth. But, I mean, they already concluded the investigation, so is he saying they were lying about that? Like, these people just cannot keep their story straight. I mean, obviously, we know they were lying about that, but to just make it this obvious, it's hard to believe. You know, it's pretty much their job to lie to us, so you'd think they'd be a little better at it. I mean, Dan knows he's losing credibility every day now. So that's why I think if he left, that'd be our best bet to get more answers, because while he's there, you know, he's in too deep. But it seems like he wants to reveal more, even though he also just might be too scared, even if he did leave. I mean, in these interviews,
yeah, you gotta wonder, like, what is truly in the files? And most importantly, who is in the files? I guess it's a public assumption right now that most of the elites, not just the politicians from the United States, but politicians from all over the world, right? Most of them are probably on the list. And the list is probably bigger than if they were to come out tomorrow and reveal the alien shit or the UFO disclosure, right? It's probably bigger than that. And now, guess what? We now have the Russia and Ukraine and US, America and Russia situation. Perhaps it's a distraction based off of that too, you know?
Looks like he just saw a ghost. And of course, also before that DOJ investigation concluded, he's like, wait till you see the stuff coming out. You're going to be stunned. But nothing came out, which I guess did leave people stunned.
If you read the stuff that's coming out, does he still have loyalists in the building? Because when I hear the FBI director saying, you guys are finding boxes that are hidden, okay, how does that happen in the Bureau?
Well, we were there a couple of weeks, and luckily there were a lot of people up there who grabbed us by the arm the minute we came in and said, thank you for being here. You know, we need to talk.
Right.
There are people there who are really horrified at what happened. And
oh, he really saw something. Yo, them eyes were like that, you know? Those eyes went crazy, bro.
There was a room, and we found stuff, a lot of stuff.
A hidden room.
I wouldn't call it hidden, but hidden from us at least, and not mentioned to us. And then we found stuff in there, and a lot of it's from the Comey era, and we are working our damnedest right now to declassify. And just so you know, because I get the public, I totally understand people saying, well, do it now. The process is not all the information is ours to declassify. Some is other intelligence agencies. It's not, we literally can't do it. Once that gets done and that gets out there, and you read some of the stuff we found, that, by the way, was not processed through the normal procedure, digitizing it, putting in FBI records. We found it in bags, hiding under Jim Comey's FBI. You're going to be stunned.
So after Pam, Cash, and Dan told us, just wait, you know, we have evidence, videos, files, lists, names, and then they just released an official DOJ memo saying there's none of that. How do they still claim they're all about transparency and they have nothing to hide? I mean, you got to be soulless to try to gaslight the American people like that.
Lies!
You know, that's so insulting. And obviously, they're hiding something and protecting people. Why else wouldn't they release the list? And now because they want to protect people on the list, they're also going to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, because apparently the best option now.
Oh, yeah, we're also hearing, like, she may get pardoned. Like, Trump said that. Yeah, he may. The homie Trump, Uncle Donnie, may pardon her. He has the ability to pardon. Bro, that is... Yeah, if she gets pardoned, bro, like... What are we talking about? What? Yeah.
Is to listen to her, which is probably going to come with a pardon or some kind of deal. Like, she's trying to get her sentence overturned, and her lawyer made a post where he said, we are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the president himself to recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Maxwell for Epstein's crimes, especially when the government promised she would not be prosecuted. And now whenever Trump is asked about this, he just says, well, you know, I'm able to pardon her if I want to, which doesn't sound good. I mean, if that happens...
Trump opens the door for a pardon to Ghislaine Maxwell. Quote, I haven't thought about it. I'm allowed to do it. And damn, like, look at those pictures, right? Yeah, those are from probably 90s, right? The 90s, early 90s.
It's going to be such a bad look. Like, if they pardon her just because they don't want to release the list, I don't know how anybody could support that. I mean, obviously people will, but it's going to be really embarrassing to defend pardoning a child sex trafficker who the victims say is worse than Epstein and deserves a life in prison. I mean, this will be so disrespectful to the victims, and it's all because they don't want to release the files. Of course, people act like that option is off the table now for some reason. I guess people would rather see a child sex trafficker walk free over...
Yeah, this is a crazy one. I don't know if we're ever gonna get the files or not, but did you see this video? Apparently, yeah, this one is going around. So they caught an alien on live news TV, or live news TV actually covered the story, and they showed the video of an alien looking creature. Yeah, if you have not seen it, check it out and I'll see you there.